Good morning, friends. It is National Wear Your Pajamas to Work Day, according to Lane Bryant. I got my email this morning, and these are my Alaska PJs. Whenever I go on vacation with Stampin' Up, I always like to buy myself something. Sometimes it's a piece of jewelry or some memento, and this year I happen to need new clothes, so Alaska pajamas it was, and it says "Don't moose with me," which I think is pretty hysterical. So I am very happy with my wearing my PJs to work day. If we go out to lunch, I guess I'll have to change. Hey Avenel, how are you? Hi Sharon, good morning. So good to see everybody. I have a lot to share this morning. Seems like Stampin' Up! Put a lot at us overnight. So like in the last day or so, we've had a lot of information. I'm just going to share this in my group so I can make sure that they're seeing it. Share in a group. If you're not on my creative group, see, I'm having the same problem I had last week. I can't seem to share it over to my group. Create with Celine. I'm going to hit the button and see what happens. Anyway, while that's messing, yeah, we have a new catalog if you're a demonstrator to look at. We have a retirement list. And here's the thing about the retirement list. There's a whole bunch of things that are retiring, and they're on the last chance list, but they're actually going to show up in the new catalog in a different configuration. So I know that a lot of demonstrators yesterday sent out that retirement list, but I'm going to wait and get a reconfiguration. I have to go through today, and I'm going to mark everything that's retiring, and then I'm going to go grab the being reconfigured list and mark a catalog, and then I'll have a separate live to show you what's really retiring versus what's being reconfigured. I was playing with some of the retiring stamps last night. I mean, lovely as a tree. So we only have a little bit of time left that we can get those items, and I will be showing some of those. I've been waiting to share my technique series with you. I originally was going to offer this as part of my retreat in a box. Got a paintbrush, because it was a retreat class. I taught this class for 12 people, and it was a little hairy for 12 people because it's a little intense to teach 5 techniques with 5 technique cards, and we'll go through those in a minute, and get everybody on the same page when you've got 12 people, and it's a lot of moving parts. But these techniques are so awesome, and they all feature around glossy paper, so we'll be covering those for the next 5 weeks. And in the meantime, I have what I brought as my gift for onstage. We'll get a better look at that in a second. This was the hubby's BK. And I brought my swaps. So we've got a lot to go over, which I'm pretty excited about. And even in this bag, like, what's going to carry over, who made it, it's so fun. If I did give you a cup, like, because I gave these to my team, but a couple of people got them outside. I put these Welch's fruit snacks in them, and it's kind of like one of my go-to things that I put in an event bag. Like, a lot of times if I'm for retreat, if I on stage, it's one of those things, they're just so yummy that I always put them in, and they're under the sugar that I can have in a serving. So I'm like, well, if I can eat them, you know, I'll pass them on. So some people in New Jersey, including mine, these were hard as a rock. I must have got a bad batch. So if you got a bad batch, I'm wicked sorry. All right. So it's much better when I can shoot at the table because then everything isn't backwards. So let's take a look together, and just give me 1 second to flip the camera, okay? And I'm going to move the table. I got so much stuff on my table already. Let's see. It's much better looking at my hand, I think. Yay, okay. And the floor. Okay, so that's the stamp we're going to use in a minute. But let's get this moved over. I never got it shared to my creative group. Well, hopefully they can find us. That's the host code for this week. We're working on these two cards this morning. One is a technique card, and one is an actual card. So we'll make the card and we'll mail this out to someone. And this one we'll have so that we know how we did the technique. And anybody who places an order, $15 or more on my page this week using the host code, I will send you these make and takes for free. And you'll have until next Monday to do that. And I will swap out for next week's project next week, because I have... I technically have 5 weeks worth of projects for you, but I don't know if I'm going to take all 5 weeks. Some of them, I used the butterfly dies, which also have been reconfigured, and I have a customer that already got the new ones, and they look pretty awesome. I had to open hers just to kind of take a look when they came in yesterday. But yeah, so these dies are now available again, so I feel like I can show them again. This paper that's on this card was embossed with the subtle embossing folder. And I'm going to see if I can give you a better look. No, I guess I can't. Oh, there it is. So it really is this cool textured, it makes your paper textured. And I didn't want to let that go because you don't see it like you see it in person. Good morning, Laura. So nice to see everybody. Okay, and Sharon, I gotta say, I am not done with Lovely as a Tree. Hang on. I gotta show you. Oh, where'd it go? I made these two cards last night. One was Lovely as a Tree. So I am not done with these yet. Aren't they cool? Yeah, these are for my stamp club next week. This one has Wink Estella. I don't know if you catch it because of the glare from the plastic bag. When I do a class, I always put them in plastic because I'm afraid that they'll like end up in an ink pad, you know. All right, I'm gonna put this to the side for a second because I think I skipped over some stuff I wanted to talk about. So first of all, let's look at BK's cup. Anybody who knows my husband, Brian, he's a sweetheart. He goes by BK because there were 9,000 Brians at the bowling alley when we first got together, and there was a Brian Burgoyne, there was a Moose, and my husband was BK for Brian Kempton. So I made him some tags like I made the rest of my team in the Stampin' Up! Logo paper. This looks just like my suitcase, and Stampin' Up! Gave us a bag that looks like them. And then, of course, you guys probably know my logo. But everybody needs a pen when they have a new catalog. And what is better than having some Post-it notes? So these are, this is a better view of this if I open them, I suppose. Let me get a pair of scissors. Here, let's make a mess. Before we even start the technique, we're making a mess. So this is just a Post-it note holder, and everybody in my team got these so that they could mark up their book. When I mark up my new catalog, I like to mark it and make notes on a Post-it note what I plan to do with it, because I look through it and I buy all this stuff and then I forget what I intended to use it for. I don't know, I guess I really am Dory. So we got a pen. And, oh, these were swaps again. This came from my buddy Jean Nielsen. And, let's see. Oh, everybody gave my husband little lovely stuff. I bet he doesn't know there's snacks in these, or I wouldn't have been able to snag them this morning. Anna Hoffman. That's adorable. I wonder what's in it. I don't want to, like, pull it apart. Oh, it's the envelope punch board. Oh, I want to... Anybody know the candy? Hazelnut Telly. I don't know what it is, but it looks awesome. And, of course, my snacks. Again, these are like my go-to. I like people who come to retreat. They all the time get the Belvitas. And then the mug itself is something that you can drink from year-round, and it has my logo on it. And one of the things that we always need as a crafter is a covered beverage holder. So this one screws back in together. And it's really nice to have on the craft table. So I thought iced tea in the summertime, lots of ice, yum. Also at like main retreats, a lot of times I give a wine glass. This morning I'm using the glass as my water holder for the glue that we're going to use. So it's fine. It's glass. I can run it through the dishwasher, and glue is water soluble, so I'm not going to be drinking glue later. Although if I did, it might make my jokes a little funnier. All right, so I'm going to put those to the side, and well, that's a good idea. Maybe I should clean up and put everything back in a mug. Oh, and I didn't mention everybody that's a part of my team through my 3rd level. So if you join my team, the people under you, and then the people under them, they all get one of these to put on their lanyard. So every time we go to onstage, we get a lanyard, and it usually has a little ribbon with our title and any kind of accomplishments that we've done. And I think that being a part of our team is pretty cool. So we all wear these so that we can spot each other in the crowd. All right. So moving right along. I might have to buy new ones soon. I'm almost out of them. I had 100 of them at one time, but after every event, you know, there were 10 of us in New Jersey, and then there were 10 in North Carolina and Charlotte. My downline Michelle got to present in Charlotte. So this person, oh my gosh, she put like a whole shopping list on the back. I'm excited for that. Thank you for showing me what you used, Maria. And this is a pocket. Oh, is it a pocket? Nope, it's just a card front. So I will put this up on display. Isn't that cool? This is by my friend Tammy. She slipped me this even before her presentation. How lucky am I to show me her stamp set. She was the first $2 million earner in Stampin' Up. She's the first person that sold $2 million in stamps. I'm very close to $500,000, which I'm pretty excited about. Should happen maybe next month or the month after. Boy, these are great little swaps. So I'm going to do a quick, oh, wow. Doesn't this just make you happy? I know it makes me, I think it's the deep etching of that embossing folder. Oh my gosh, I love it. So when we go to events, we do a lot of swapping, and I love seeing other people's ideas. This, I think, is a Z folder. I'm going to open it because I think it deserves that. Let's see. And this was by Sandra Jumper. Thank you for your swap, Sandra. Oh, look at how pretty. So it's a Z fold. They score it normally, like you score a card in half, and then they score it again at 2 3/4, and that just makes it half again. So then you can decorate accordingly. What a great idea. Maybe I should do this for a card coming up. Oh, I love these. So this is embossed, cut out, and then colored with blends to get that cool butterfly look. That's in the carryover list, by the way. It's one of those sets that says they're being reconfigured. So I'm going to have a better list out. I'm going to take my time with that and send it out to everybody when it looks better, because it's confusing to me. I'm sure it's confusing to you. Well, maybe it's not confusing to you, but it's confusing to me. I want to make it less confusing before I send it out. These are great. Okay, that was Kay. Okay, and then we have Sharon Gordon from Delaware. So, like, being in New Jersey, we were at a pretty big swath of places. This came from a lady in Pennsylvania. Let's see, Sue. I don't want to wreck her last name, so we'll just show the bookmark. Isn't that pretty? I think bookmarks are awesome. I think I'm going to start making more of them. This lady, Carol, sat with us at our table. She ended up by herself, and my downline, Sandy, was in line, and Carol was mentioning she was there by herself, and she sat with us at my table all day. It was so fun. It's always nice to meet new friends. And a little bit of sparkle. Oh, so pretty. This one's so bright and cheery. And decorated paper clip. by Christine Kerpiel, Pennsylvania. Pretty, pretty. Ooh, looking at it behind the white makes it easier to see, I think. So cute. It's school vacation week here, so if you hear my daughter or my husband, you know what's going on and everybody's home. That's got the wood green background. I love the butterflies. So this is the same butterfly set we're going to play with today. A lot of people did card friends. I usually do full cards just because I want people to be able to use them right away. Wow, so pretty. I love the colors on that. Wow. So I'm going to go a little faster here but if you want to look at one of these cards like quick, you can always go back and pause the video. This one was made by my girlfriend Liz, and she's so flippin' talented. I can't even stand it. She embossed, gold embossing, and then sectioned this off with Post-it notes, and then sponged over it. It's so beautiful in person. Like, I hope you're catching that. But Liz Bailey, totally, totally talented buddy. Okay, so that's my swaps. I got a few 3Ds too. I don't do a lot of 3Ds, but they're cute. This is adorable. I think Barbie was saying Post-it note holder. I mean, not Post-it note. Hershey Kisses. I think there's a Hershey Kiss in here. And then let's see what's in here. This looks like a box and a belly band. How fun. What a great idea. And this was by Kathy Lester, Pennsylvania. Oh, yeah. Yum. I'll be having one of those later. Whoop. Okay, so that's all of my swaps. I should put them back in the bag because, you know, I can get kind of messy on Tuesday mornings. I already have all of the stuff from Brian's mug all over my table. All right, so card one of the Messy Technique series. This one showcases glossy paper. So what I did in the class when I taught this as a live class at Retreat was I put everything that they would need to stamp in their bag. Now let's move this just a little bit so that we could see what we were doing here. Let's see. So I've got like a couple of rhinestones. You know I'm going to lose those if I'm not careful. So that's why I put all the stuff that was losable in this little bag with their technique card. We're going to start with these two, which is the technique piece, and then these we're going to stamp for both the technique card and the card itself. All right. So also when I did this in person, I had rubber gloves, and when I unpacked the studio, I can't seem to find them this morning, and I said I was going to be here at 9 o'clock, so 9 o'clock it is. I just don't have my rubber gloves, so this ought to be interesting. I might have to go wash my hands in between. For this technique, you're going to need plain school glue. I was looking for Elmer's, but when we were out, this is what we found. It's fine. It's the white school glue. You're going to need the Stampin' Up! Brusho, and let me just tell you, the glossy paper and the Brusho is going out, and I'm going to feature 5 techniques worth of and I don't know if it's going to be 5 weeks or 4 weeks or 3 weeks. I don't know how I'm going to break it down yet, but I'm going to feature glossy paper for the next 5 techniques that I cover. So it's going to be a series of videos all showing glossy paper. So this stuff is just unbelievably cool, and I'm already mourning the loss that it's not going to be in the next idea book and catalog, so you can only get it while supplies last. Let's see. So then I need a paintbrush, and I need a way to clean up my glue. So, and actually I was drinking out of this last night, but now it's I had water by the sink, and I'm like, oh, perfect, and I grabbed that, so that's now my glue container. Okay, so I hope you're wearing pajamas to work today. I plan to wear mine out too, just because it's making a point. Lane Bryant sent me an email that said it's wear your pajamas to work day. All right, here comes the fun. So I was really surprised that people said that they were having trouble with this. This is like one of my favorite things, but here's the deal. the first time I opened one, I opened the red and I thought, there's no possible way that one hole in the top of the container could make me happy enough to not, like it. I'm a more is more kind of person, but this stuff really less is more. You can put it over on its top, tap it with the top of your finger, and then it really does swath all over everything. So if you notice, I have 2 sheets for this, but it's going to be fine because when I go to use this later for the same technique, I can just reuse because it's going to dry. It'll be fine. Eventually it'll dry. Wait till you see how much glue I'm going to use. So let's get the glue moving here. So I'm going to take my school glue and put a big amount on my paper. This is so fun. I can't even tell you. I love messy techniques. And it takes a long time to dry, but that's okay. We're gonna use a heat tool to get it. So I'm gonna get it out to the edge, but for now I'm gonna try to avoid, I'll do the edges right at the end. I want to avoid getting it all over the background because I'll stick right to the edge of the paper. But before I heat it up, I'm going to move it off this template. So I'll get it messy and then I'll move it and it'll be fine. So I am just like smearing this out, and I really do want the edges of this to come out. So this is another one I did, and I didn't do much Brusho on this one. If you look, this one is darker. Every time you do it, it's going to come out differently depending on how much Brusho comes out of the container when you're playing. But that's why it's good to only have one hole in the top, because if you have like multiple holes in the top, you have no control over what comes out. All right. How's that for messy, huh? Woo! Okay, and then normally I'd say put it right in the water, but before we water this up, we got to do the Brusho piece. So I'm going to put the paintbrush to the side. I'm going to flip this over, and then what did I say? Tap, tap, tap with your finger. And, you can do it you don't have to do it as much as I'm doing it right now. This is going to be darker than the one that I just showed you, this one. Because it doesn't look like much now, but these are super concentrated pigment crystals. So the minute I start to mix it, it's going to get darker and darker. And if it's not, like, you decide how dark you want it. But the thing that I don't want is I don't want it to be one solid color. So I like this, but I'd like it to be a little darker again. It's so easy to go overboard with this and not like it. And someone on my customer page yesterday, I think it was Debbie, was saying that she struggles with this stuff. And I think it might just be like, you have to be really super careful. But the nice thing about the glue is it doesn't let it run. It's just you're gonna kind of control. Look at this, is a fun. Yay! It's water soluble, so it's easy to clean up, and afterwards I'll drink water out of my wine glass again. I'll probably drink wine out of there too sometime. All right. Hey Debbie, nice to see you. Okay, so here's the part where I should have rubber gloves on, and I literally couldn't find the box, but I'm gonna take this, and my paper is so wet that it's already, whoa, see? Watch out for that. Oh, darn. Stuck to my paper. I'm gonna get some paper towels here. My husband just heard that I'm missing something, and I think he's coming to look for my rubber gloves, which is pretty funny. He is, in most houses, if you want to know where something is, you ask the wife. In my house, no, I don't remember anything. He's the one that has to find things. Thank God he's around. Okay, so hang on one second. I'm going to grab a paper towel because I am already a mess. But it's really fun. I'm going to stick my fingers in the water and clean up a little. Okay. And now that this is all set, I don't want my paintbrush to stay glued forever. So I'm going to get this right in water before I even finish. the technique and just kind of clean it off. Looks like I was painting with yellow because it's all yellow in there. Oh, maybe that's the blue pigment. So, you know, blue and the pigment is making it a different color. That's cool from the Brusho. Okay, so now I'm going to bring my heat tool in. And I'm going to put that messy glue stuff to the side. I have the cleaner version in front of me, and we're going to heat. This is going to take a couple minutes. So if you're watching on the replay, you can... So what it's going to do when it's getting towards done, and you need it, if you're using the Stampin' Up! Heat tool, you need setting 2, because this is like, you want it hotter than not. But you kind of leave it in one spot until it really starts to bubble, and you'll see it. Hang on. Trying to get a better view for you so that once it bubbles, you'll see it. See it bubbling up? Right there on the edge? That means that that corner is almost dry. So I'm just going to kind of go through and finish heating this. Talk amongst yourselves for a minute. Oh, it's Dauberdew! I love your name. Dauberdew. You make me smile. So imagine doing this with 12 people in a class. We had so much fun. Oh my gosh. The jokes were flying. This would be awesome at Halloween. Think like orange or green or purple. And, you know, because it gets kind of like Franken background. It is really fun. It does take a little bit to cook though. And what we did was, we did this technique first, and then it was time for lunch. So we did this technique, everybody left their cardstock on their paper, because I save these papers for messy stuff like this. And then we went to lunch and came back, and then anybody who could visibly get a little bit of tackiness off of their paper, we recooked, because you really want to make sure. Oh my god, this is awesome. Look at, you can see it now. See it like bubbling up? I don't know if you can catch the side, like how it's like really Franken bubbles. It's hard to know when it's dry because it's going to stay shiny because of the Elmer's glue. But I'm gonna really do a good job with it, because if it's wet in any way when you put it on your card, that's not good. So we'll dry it. I'll give it a second, and then we'll double check that it doesn't need to be recooked. See, you can see, but it's just a matter of getting it to really dry down. It takes patience. But like, oh my gosh, Franken stuff, or you could cut this with the die cutter after, but again, make sure that it's good and dry, and don't touch it with your finger, because that, like, where it's bubbled will no longer be on the paper. Now, another way that you could do this technique before you get started, if you want it to be more on the dark side, I sound like I'm doing a Star Wars thing. If you want it to be darker to start, you can brayer your paper so that it's a dark color, and then put the white glue right on top. So that's another version of this heated Brusho technique. I love this swath right here, how it's like there's a little bit of color and then there's a break where the glue sat, and it is curling up my paper, and that's because we had one side of the paper wet. If you ever have a piece of paper that does this because of heat or water, you can do the same thing to the other side, and it usually straightens it out. So if you get the other side a little bit wet, it'll bring it back. Oh, this is so fun. does take a minute. I would imagine the old black guns that used to get hotter than the blazes of hell, it would cook it faster. The ones that always seem to overcook our projects, but it's fine. This one is working. Good morning, Sandy. Oh, and Donna's here. Hi, Donna. So excited to see you. At the end of the video, I'm going to do a drawing from last week's video. There were 4 or 5 people that I could see that you shared my video. Like, if I can't see that you shared my video, I can't put you in the drawing, silly. So if your settings have me blocked out, then I can't see it. But for those that did share, I did say that I would send you the card from last week. Oh, and it's a pretty one. It's the one with the embossed. I am so having a moment here. This is like so cool. I got no words left. I think we're almost cooked, but I want to make sure that because it's still bubbling. This one feels done. There looks like a spot right there. It's so hard because it's so shiny and pretty. It's hard to tell if you're dry. So at this point, when we were at the live class, we went to lunch. So that gives it a second for it to dry. And I'm going to grab a pair of scissors because I have a feeling that's stuck to my paper. Okay, so we're back from lunch. Here we go. Oh! And I'm just going to kind of like try and get under there without wrecking my project. Because I did, see, like, I did stick to the paper, but it's fine. It's good to go. Just be careful when you're picking it up. And this does feel completely dry now. So we put a good amount of Elmer's glue or white school glue, whatever. And then this is our technique piece. So we're going to take... I'm going to just close the door because my husband's on a call and we're playing competing videos. Hang on one second. Hopefully you'll hear less, unless you want to hear about like computer stuff. All right. So... I gotta grab some adhesive. Adhesive's hard to find. I had to go into my private stash last night to find my my fast fuse. I couldn't find my dispenser. And I was putting cards together. Like I said, we're gonna make that lovely as a tree card at club, and oh, it's so sparkly with the Wink of Stella on there. Oh. Let me see. I lost the top. That's what happens when your table gets messy. You can't find anything. Ah, there it is. This was the one I was showing. It's textured and pretty, but you can't necessarily see it. And I can't necessarily see the difference between the black and the blue on the paper, so I'm gonna... So I have a bunch of customers that have trouble getting the pattern straight on their card, like getting their layers straight. And what I usually recommend to them is, if you can look at your cardstock and see that you have 3 sides equal, if you've cut your paper, you know, to the regular measurements, you should be straight all the way around. This one's a little crooked. See? It's because I was talking about it. And then we're going to put these two together, the technique. And it is dry because look. Oh, ha, I lied. Just a little bit dry. That's okay. We're going to put something there. I pre-tied this bow, and we're going to put it there with a glue dot. morning, Kathy. Good to see you, my friend. Let's see. And then we'll put this down with a glue dot. I do this a lot when I'm putting ribbon on a card. I put my tape runner on the back. Attach the ribbon to it, and then it's ready to stick on my card front. So it's kind of like one move. I did put it on crooked, that's so special. One good reason why I shouldn't talk and craft at the same time, but that's okay. You guys are cool and know that I already did this card. Okay, so see how different the three examples are? This was my first one. This is the one that I did at retreat and didn't finish because I wanted to move on with that many people in the class. And then this one is today's, and they're all slightly different. I think they're so pretty. Okay, now remember the butterflies we weren't going to lose? Yay, I didn't lose them. If you're putting stuff on this, you're going to want to use a heavier duty adhesive. So if you don't have any fast fuse left, I would recommend the liquid glue, or sticking, for example, the butterfly on and the two banners with glue dots. I have a friend that used snail in this class, and she said that her banners were lifting a little bit. So, did I pull it off? No. This is such a cute little delicate butterfly. And they're finally back. And my customer just got one in, and it was the new configuration dies. They look a lot deeper to me. I don't know, maybe if it was just because I was really looking at them, but they look like they have a deeper edge on them. Of course, I had to open her stuff and look at it because it said it was new. I need to be nosy like that. Okay, so then we need to stamp our sentiment. So we're going to stamp this, a friend is someone who chooses you, twice, so that it sits on the front of the banner. And then out of a whole world of people is going to go this way. Where's the ink pad? I'm so silly. Darn it. Oh, there it is. It's behind my laptop. I got a little glare right there. I'm just gonna see if I can fix it. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. Okay. So to make sure that this is gonna go in the right direction, I'm gonna stamp here first. And then, oh look, we'll just stamp right on the banner. And then the same thing with this. And we're gonna go towards the V. So if you do decide to make a purchase and I send you this packet, the V and the two rhinestones will be in the packet with the technique card. And you wanna make sure that you stamp right towards the, so here I'm gonna use fast fuse, so it's super sticky, but if you're gonna do this at home, you may wanna use, oh, wrong one. You may wanna use glue dots if you don't have something super sticky. Like tear tape would probably work good. Okay, so out of a whole world of people, sorry I'm out of the frame there for a second. And then we'll do this on this one. Just give it a slice. That way, if you misfire and you stamp it wrong, you can always make another V and you have a little bit more room. I didn't want to get it so close that you couldn't fix it if you needed to. I'm going to go higher. Nope. Can't decide. Okay, so there we go. I've got my little butterfly on. Isn't that pretty? Okay, and then we're going to make the technique card. Same thing, but this is just a reference card for you so that you can mail out your project and you can remember how we made this. And I even cut you a little tiny butterfly. Oh, I'm going to pull glue dot off the ink pad. That was really good. I'm going to roll this up. So again, for those of you that are waiting for it, please be patient with me. I'm going to get a retirement list out, but I want you to know what items are being reconfigured, meaning they'll be available next time, but they'll be in the new cling mount as opposed to the clear mount. The cling mount, the stickers are a lot stickier, and some people love them and some people don't. The material itself is the same, the red rubber, so it's just being reconfigured a little bit. So I want to make sure that the list is solid and that I'm clear before I send anything out. I don't want it to be confusing to you, because it was so confusing to me. So I'll make it good. Anyway, aren't these cool? So this gives you all the directions, and the directions card would come with it. We'll use glossy cardstock. Don't forget that you can put a little bit of brayered dark color underneath if you prefer. Sprinkle bits of Brusho over the glue. Use a paintbrush. And don't completely mix it, or it's going to be one color. Finish with the heat gun until no more bubbles form. Finish your project. And we could use, you can even use more than one Brusho color if you wanted to. Like I was thinking red and blue would be pretty together. But the Brusho and the glossy paper are limited time projects. There is a new version, I think, of the Brusho coming out from Stampin' Up! Called Sprinkles, but I'm not sure if it's the same pigment. I know that our watercolor paper is being updated, and I'm super excited about it. It's going to be made out of cotton. But these are limited time products. The glossy paper I'm so bummed about, because I love glossy paper techniques. And that is what the next 5 projects on my lives will all be focused on. So watch your email if you're on my email list for the updated retirement list. It's a last chance list, and I will mark up which products will be just reconfigured and available next time as well, so that you're right in the know and you know what's going on. So that's it for this morning. Do you have to use glossy? Yeah, for this technique, yes, it's really helpful to use glossy. You could try it on another paper, but I would be concerned about how it would absorb into a normal cardstock. That's a good question, Sharon. If I were going to try it again and I didn't have the glossy, I might try it with shimmer, because it doesn't allow the paper to absorb the water from the liquid of the glue. So that was a good question. All right, guys. Yeah, I love the butterfly set. And there's, like I said, the next 4 techniques, the next 4 videos, or the next 4 techniques will be all glossy paper techniques. So we're going to do Wink of watercolor, and we're going to do a whole bunch of different stuff on glossy. So it'll be fun. But until next time, we'll see you. And if you have any questions, please buzz me, and I will talk to you soon. Again, if you want this packet to come to you in the mail with pre-cut with the pre-tied bow, let me know, and you just use my host code for this week, and that is good until next Monday. We'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys. Oh, I can't do that yet. I have to do one more thing. I almost forgot the most important thing. I have to give a prize for last week. So everybody who sent in online orders up until last week got something from me in the mail. I always like to put surprises in the mail. Oh, that's so silly. I need to go to last week's video and see who I can see shared last week's video, and then we're going to write their names on a piece of paper, and we're going to do a quick drawing. Or actually, you know what? We'll just give you a number. So that's even easier, because then I can do it online and let the random number generator pick the winner. So let's do that. Let's see. It was April 9th, and I am pulling up the video right now, and I have 10 shares from last week, and I can see Donna Berg, you're number 1. And I'm putting your comments in here. I'm putting a comment in live right now. Charlene, you're number 2. Sharon, you're number 3. Jean Hoffman, you're number 4. Okay, so now we're going to go to random.com and pull a winner. Random.org. I'm sorry, random.org. What do I know? Okay, so min is 100. Max is 4. And I'm just going to do it live. Even easier, because then you can really see that it's completely random. And let's generate a result. 1. Okay, so who said is number 1? Let me go back and look. Because now I lost who I was looking at. But I did mark it, so that's good, because I forget things that fast. I think it was Jean Hoffman. Maybe let me go look. Create with Celine. Boy, this takes a while. This technology stuff is not my forte. But the person that was number 1, just shout it out if you know it. Somebody who listens really well already knows. It's already gone out of my head. And I hope you like my PJs. It's National Wear Your Pajamas to Work Day, so I was just participating in the fun. Shares. It was, number 1 was Donna Berg McClellan. So, Donna, I need you to send me your address through private messenger, and I will send you this card from last week that I promised that I would send out to subscribers. And the same goes for this week. If you share my video, I will send you one of the ready-made ones instead of the packet. So I'll send you this and this. So it's kind of cool because it has all the directions on how to recreate the project. So that's next week's drawing. And Donna, this is for you. So I'm sorry, I almost forgot that one. All right, so we'll see you guys next week. And if you need anything, please buzz me, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.